So let's see. We're just getting things started. If you have been here before we've had the stream going, then you'll know the drill. But it'll just be a second. Boop. Let's see here. This thing. We're just about to start. Tonight's going to be fun, guys. I think it's going to be a little different.
I'm excited.
And check out Jackie. Here we go, guys. Oh, wait, hold it. Yeah, here we go, guys. So it's going to be fun tonight, but no different, apparently. Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
Hey.
John and Jackie here.
That's right.
Tonight's going to be a lot of fun. We have some different things planned. A little bit. I mean, I'm going to actually talk about some painting and how to do it. It seems like the last few times we haven't done that as much. Check out Jackie over there. Man.
I'm going to curse you.
Ooh. Nice. That's pretty cool. She's got a shrunken head, and
yes.
So that's, I don't know.
You don't want to be one of my victims.
I was gonna dress up like an artsy person, and I thought about Bob Ross, but I don't have a Bob Ross afro, and I thought, well, maybe like a Frenchman. So I even had the mustache and everything over here, and I had my dad's black beret from Vietnam. I was gonna wear that, and I had Jack look at it earlier, and then I was sitting here though, and I was looking for a turtleneck. I was going to wear a turtleneck or a mock turtleneck. And so I was going through the closets and I couldn't find one. And I used to have one, but it probably got purged, during getting rid of clothes we don't use. What's funny though is that the mock turtleneck got thrown away, but we do have a Frankenstein and a Chewbacca onesies. So, those are things that you need to have apparently, but mock turtlenecks, not so much. But going through the closet, I did find a ukulele, which is pretty cool, and I found a leather jacket. So I put on the leather jacket, and I was just sitting here, and Jackie came in because I told her I was going to put on a costume. So I was just sitting here, and I was just plucking away at it, and she said, "Oh, what are you dressed up like? As a hipster?" So, no, it's just me. It's just me being me. So I ditched the Frenchman outfit and just dressed as my true self.
Aww.
A hipster.
It works.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you still have a leather vest.
I am too. All the other vests I had were also taken by the purge. But
Taken by the purge. At some point you gotta let go, man. Let go.
I don't have to let go. You let go of things for me. So I don't have
You're
to.
You're welcome.
Well, tonight though, guys, we're going to you know what? I'm just going to serenade you all night. It's just going to be,
Yeah. People stay tuned in for the other show.
Yeah, it's going to be. Oh.
Yikes.
Yeah. Let me put this up. No, but it's nice though because I have some ukuleles on the wall back there, but because of the wide temperature ranges in the studio, all of them got kind of messed up. Even the one I love, and but this one though was in the closet, so I didn't know that it survived. So it was one that my mom gave me. So anyway, I had that, and I thought, oh, how cool, that's nice. Anyway,
yes,
we have some cool things to talk about tonight. I want to show. Okay, I want to get into the painting really quick because I know last time I didn't paint it all, and
yeah, it's like, what do you even do anymore?
I don't know. I mean, I paint all day, but then for the show, we just got excited talking. Sometimes my love of gabbing and talking about everything even exceeds my love of art and paint. Aww. So,
Well, Kylie Sykes joins us, says, hey guys, happy Monday.
Hey, Kylie.
And Linda Everton is giving us a big thumbs up.
Hey, Linda. Thank you.
Yes, and Masa has joined us and is watching. And I am trying to share a watch party, but it is not letting me for some reason.
Uh-oh. Well, keep working at that. And this is going to be a fun week, though, guys. I'm doing a virtual talk at Boise Startup Week, and that actually it kind of kicked off tonight, but the talks and everything are tomorrow, and it's really cool. And we'll share the link here in a minute. We'll wait until the watch party and all that is started. that way that link goes on over there as well. But it's really cool, and I was so honored to be, it's videos we made, but I was so honored to be included with that. And my thing goes on tomorrow right after the mayor, which was a super crazy honor of them to do that, to feature me then, which was really, really nice, and I'm super excited. And and I'm going to go on live, and I'm going to chat with people and all that when that's happening. And so that'll be cool. During this time with COVID and everything, it's so important to reach out and I don't know, just feel like you're a part of stuff, which is why like Monday nights and Thursday nights are so much fun for us, because we feel social because we get to chat with you guys.
It's like we've got friends.
Yeah, it would have some art we want to share, and we have some stories to tell. Shenanigans over the weekend, which were a little crazy, and I felt so bad for Jackie. And
shenanigans.
We are currently our work truck, which we have a giant box truck and like a lift gate that'll lift like 2,000 pounds or something.
Yeah.
And it itself weighs hundreds of pounds. It's not like a tailgate on a truck. It's this giant 6 foot, I think, or 7 foot tall giant gate that comes out that you can lift things up with. All to lift my little paintings, but anyway.
It was a fiasco, but
Yeah, so we'll talk about that. But one of the things though is that Jackie was going out to lend a hand to her brother and sister-in-law Andy and Sam, which are Andy is just an incredible artist. Has been doing art for over 20 years. Just taught art for over 20 years, actually, I should say, and Sam is just this incredible creative person, and they're doing this art, and this is the first time they decided to try to sell it. They just make art because they love it. I mean, and professional like art. And
we have it here.
We have some here, which is really cool. And Jackie went there to help them do their first shows, like a COVID show, so everything was real friendly. I mean, COVID friendly, and all that.
Otherwise, it's mean.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an angry art show.
Angry art.
bunch of depressed artists just milling around, not talking to anybody. But so it was really cool. So like it was like low crowds and everything, but it sounded super cool. And Jackie went out there to help them. But one of the things though is that I want to get Andy and Sam on here real soon. But we want to wait until they're getting some things situated, like with web pages and all that kind of stuff. But
do you want me to show some of their art, or?
Yeah, we sure could. But one of the things, let's show it. Let's show Sam's first, because I want to talk about acrylic pouring.
Ooh.
And so we have one of Sam's paintings. It's a small painting that she did that is an acrylic pour.
Yes.
And I learned so much talking to her. But a lot of the stuff they're doing in acrylic pouring was stuff I've been working with resin and different things. Where I've worked with alcohol inks and artist resin and different things for years and different techniques. And talking to Sam, it was so interesting because I'd heard about acrylic pouring and all this, but I didn't really realize what it was. I thought it was just pouring paint, but it's adding all these additives and mixtures into the paint to make it act different.
Yeah.
And that's what I've been doing for years. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so cool. And that painting is so neat. It's fun to feel. You can feel a little bit of texture.
And all like this, all the color coming through the cells and the washes of light colors behind. It's all like different techniques. It's not like, just sort of, they just let, you lay it down and it happens. It's actual like chemistry techniques. So otherwise it's a hot mess apparently. So,
yeah.
I didn't realize how involved pouring was, but it's involved.
I didn't either. And probably the last week or so, I've been reading tons of articles and listening to tons of things about it. But it's been really interesting. But yeah, it's incredible how many techniques and stuff. So I'm going to start doing some of that. But I'm all about realism, but I'm also about expression of using color to express. So I want to combine the two. And I have some ideas. And tonight is the first step into that. And I have a drawing that Jackie has not seen. She hasn't seen this drawing.
I don't know anything about this. I didn't prepare for this show at all outside of throwing makeup on. I didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah. It's funny. Jackie got dressed up like that. And we're needing some work done to the house. So the guy, of course, called like 5 minutes before the live stream. And Jackie's back in business mode, and Jack's just laughing because she's dressed like a witch doctor, saying,
I think
I think Wednesday would be an appropriate time to me. That would be delightful.
A witch doctor's got to get things done too.
Yes, that's delightful, darling. Yeah.
3 o'clock with work. Well, Masa says how cute Jackie's face is. Thank you. And Kim Taylor has joined us and says hello.
Hello.
So, thanks for joining.
Yeah. Let's see Andy's mug real quick.
Okay, so my brother is a potter and went to school for it and all that fun stuff, and he does these beautiful different thrown pots. This is the mug that was so popular at the thing. It says 2020 sucks on it.
And it's funny, like Andy, and I'm not saying this because he's family, but Andy is an incredible potter. I mean, like, he does stuff that it takes years and years to learn it. Like, so a mug, he can just whip it out. Just boom, boom. It's nothing.
Yeah,
for him.
these he does really quick, and he's like, whatever. But I mean, the glazing is what takes real technique. Because when I was over there, all the pots were red, and like before they had been in the kiln, and I was like, oh, is that gonna be a red one? He's like, no, that's blue. And then another one, I'd be like, oh, so is that blue? And he's like, no, that's a dark brown. And it's like, how do you keep that straight when all of them, the glaze colors are virtually the same?
That's funny.
That takes skill as well. He also does, let me show, these pots, which these were really popular at the art fair. They're horsehair. Oh, you got the
horsehair ones?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
And so he sold out of these at the fair. But it's really cool when the pot comes out of the kiln, it's still, scorching hot, and then you take horsehair and lay it over, and it creates these weird techniques.
What does the horse think about that when you're doing it?
Sure, don't mind.
I'm just kidding.
But he's done some. I think he's done some with feathers. But those are really cool. And then the other thing that I got from Sam, was coasters. She was selling coasters, and so I picked up some of these. It's got some like iridescent golds in it, and there's 4 of them. And I liked it because it kind of matches our bar room, because our bar room has a lot of browns and
they have a cork back and all that. Yeah, and we want to share this stuff with you later on too, and be able to show all that, link to it. But one of the things I thought was real smart that Sam did was the coasters, and guys, like, if you're doing art, being able to have stuff in different price points is so great, and to have coasters that are actually not a print. Like, that's one of the neat things about that, is that each coaster is actually an art piece. It's a mini painting that she does, so how, good grief. Really like, cool. I can't even imagine that. And that's so cool. So that every coaster that you have is an individual little painting. And I don't know. I think that's super cool.
Well, Masa said, who did the makeup, yourself or John? I did it.
Yeah,
I did it. But I followed like a template. So
I wish I'd saved one of those pictures. We did some close-up pictures of you, because I have a feeling Jackie has like really, really, really light blue eyes, and I have a feeling with any white makeup probably makes her eyes look white, almost like a ghost.
Yeah, my eyes do kind of just disappear.
Oh, here. You know what I can do?
Oh gosh, are you gonna zoom in? That's never a good idea. Never a good idea. Well,
okay. You might, but I can't pan or I can't actually get
there. I'm there. Let's get this over with.
Is that good? Am I in on you?
Yeah, man. This is as close as anybody needs to get.
Let's just leave it like this.
No.
You're like, no, this is not.
Back it up.
This is not funny. It's not funny. Okay, the joke's over, John.
Okay.
Back it up.
All right. Back it up. Kim said, "Is that a shrunken head?" Jerry, perhaps? Yes.
That'll teach Jerry.
Yes. Jerry was bad today. Bad Jerry.
Jerry was bad. Wow.
And Cassie Garb joins us, says, great makeup job. Wow. Thanks.
Awesome. I got to feel the headdress and stuff after. I feel special. It's really cool. It has like little skulls and stuff, right? And feathers, and there's like 2 little things that go down. It's really cool.
Well, did you tell what happened with the festival?
No, but I want to share this real quick, and then let's talk about the festival, because I want to work on this. I don't want it to be Okay, look, I keep hitting it. Oh, okay. Yay! Whenever that ding happens, it means somebody bought something on our online store.
It's the little thing.
Okay, I just hit the camera, so things may have just gotten a little wacky. So as you can see, it's covered.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't see any drawings.
This is amazing. I call it a snow.
So you got a lot of work ahead of you.
The polar bear in the storm. Okay, so this is the drawing that I did earlier.
Oh, that's cute. How Halloween-y of you.
Well, thank you. Well, I put the weenie in Halloween-y, that's for sure. Yep.
Sorry.
the thing about this is that I wanted to do something sort of a Halloween theme, but not so Halloweeny that that if you're a fan of cats and it was in October, you would just see this and you would think like, oh, that's a cat painting. It's nice. It's the moon cats. They kind of go together. So that was the idea, to do something that would work for Halloween but also work for the fall, or any time.
That cat looks kind of scary.
Oh, it is? What's it look? I think
its eyeballs are like...
Well, how would you look if you were in space?
Well...
Sitting on the moon.
Out of oxygen, for sure.
Here, let me see. Okay, I'm going to pop us back in here, I think. But, yeah, so the cat is a little weird. But here's the idea, guys. Okay, so on this drawing, and you probably can't see, but the border around everything is really, really thick. And the reason is because I want to paint these elements realistically, but I want to do an acrylic pour in the background for the kind of the space area and all that. And normally, whenever I thought to do this, I thought what makes complete sense would be to do the acrylic pour, then paint in the realistic areas.
Well, yeah.
Amazon disagreed.
You couldn't get it in time.
And the stuff to make it where I could do an acrylic pour was lost. It's lost in the ether. They don't know where it is. It was supposed to come in yesterday, and then it was like, well, it'll be here today. If it's not here today, think about it. Think about reordering it.
Did you really need it?
Well, only if you want to pour. So no, it was a Floetrol. So I got a couple things.
Is that the stuff that comes from Australia?
No. There you can get some from Australia. Sam has not convinced me.
Well,
yet.
Okay, we'll see.
No, but and also I want to experiment with a lot of different things.
Yeah.
And that's a really high end, like very expensive stuff. And whenever you get into art, like you don't, buying the most expensive thing is probably isn't the best step. So I want to work with some other things. Like I want to work with plain water, and I want to work with a regular Floetrol, and the silicone, and some other things, just to see what they do and all that.
Well, Lisa Dutton says, I want this.
Well, thank you. Oh, well, thank you for liking it. And
see how the acrylic pour goes first.
Yeah. So I drew this in today. So what this is, this moon is kind of based on a moon that my mom has. She has she has a ceramic moon and a ceramic sun. So this is kind of like what that is. So it's a very common sort of crescent moon. I wasn't trying to break any I don't know. Like I want something that people look at and they go like, oh, man on the moon sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And because I want it to be almost like a nursery time or a fantasy story or
Yeah, it's definitely got that ethereal sort of.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
fantasy
cool.
Look.
And the cat, I don't want it to be like a giant, big cat, and but what I'm going to do though tonight is I'm going to work in putting in grayscale. Okay. So instead of just making this full on color right now, I want to work in shading, and one way you can do that is just by using grays. So we have black and white. Now I'm gonna start adding in the grays, like 2 or 3 different shades of gray, to just start getting like a 3D more of an effect. Pardon me, because I haven't decided if I'm going to color this in with a regular acrylic paint or if I'm going to use some flow techniques on maybe the moon too.
That'd be cool. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I don't know. But I want to be able to do both. And either way, I can use the gray.
Yeah. So, it's art. Let's experiment.
There you go. So anyway, that's what I'm going to be working on while Jackie regales us.
Oh, gosh.
The story of the art festival.
Well, let me say first, Shin has joined us and says, Jackie, love your makeup as much as John's painting.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
I mean, I don't know why I'm saying thank you. I should be saying, hey now.
Hey now. Okay, so while you paint that, I'll tell the shenanigans. Okay, so this weekend, obviously, I went out to help my brother and sister-in-law with a mini art fair. It was very, very, very small, and everybody was spaced apart and all that fun stuff. But they don't typically work art festivals, so they were like, can we borrow your walls and all that sort of stuff? And we were like, yeah. I kind of wanted to be there for their first art gig, and I was like, well, I'll just bring the truck in the walls, and we'll load everything in the truck so you don't have to reload and whatever. So
because you're using our professional art truck, it'll make everything easy.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
Yeah, and it's funny because our art truck is big. It's huge. It's really big. It's a box truck, and so it was kind of silly. And this kind of cemented it all. Is we rolled up to this house where this thing was happening, and all the other artists were out there, and they kind of looked like, what's going on? Like I thought this was just like some people getting together to do some stuff, and then roll up in this big truck. I told Andy I wanted to I wanted to play on my phone "It's Good to Be a Gangsta" as we got out of the truck.
And that would have been so cool.
It would have been hilarious.
It's good to be a gangsta.
Yeah.
And it should have been like slow motion where they're all walking in a line, almost like Reservoir Dogs. That would be great.
And then it would have been horrible because we would have mud in our face.
Because of what ensued.
Yeah. So on this big truck we have a Tommy gate that spans the entire back of it. So it's a huge gate. And it goes down and up and down and up and down. And when it goes down, it can go all the way to the ground. That's the idea with the Tommy gate. And so get everything unloaded, and then we drop the gate to the bottom with the walls, take the walls out, and then we're done. And I'm about to go move the truck, and I go to lift the Tommy gate, and it is broke. Like, it is not going up. It is just the hydraulics will not lift the gate up. It's getting power, and I'm like frantic mode. Freak out. And John's not with me, and usually I can at least like share in the misery. And
I wanted to be there, but I had to stay home for the dogs and Jack, because we couldn't leave.
And I felt bad because it was like
both of us couldn't leave.
I felt bad because we have this huge work truck, and we're sort of in the front of this fair. We're kind of blocking the view a little bit of things, and so I was just like, we're blocking somebody's driveway and all this, and I was like, that's all I want to do. So, literally, and this is what was ridiculous. We get on YouTube, and YouTube says you need to locate the thing, this solenoid, and
solenoid.
Solenoid. I don't even know. I don't even know what this thing does. Solenoid, and bang on it with a wrench or whatever, and then the lift will go up. So I'm like, I took me like 30 minutes, but I find this solenoid, and bang on it with the thing, nothing happens. And so I finally got a 24-hour wreck service guy to come out, which he's like, the type that go to semis at any time of the night. He comes out Saturday, 8, 9 in the morning, and he literally unscrews it, taps the solenoid, tightens one of the bolts. Solenoid.
It's like a Terminator for you.
I don't even know. And it goes up. And it was like, oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. Hundreds of dollars later, I can move the truck out of the way of all these people. And anyway, so get that done, and we went ahead and risked it and used the lift again and got all the gear back in, and then I was able to get it to my brother's and then back home. And then of course when we go to load everything in the truck to take the truck back to the storage unit, the lift poops out again. So now the truck is in the front of the house with the gate down and a big red thing on it so people don't run into the gate. It's just a mess. I swear, I was telling Andy, I was like, and this isn't me mentally, I was like geared up, I was excited about the mural, and virtually nothing went wrong with the mural. So I think all that all that pent up sort of things could go wrong,
all the karma that you wasted
that was
on the mural,
focused into making the mural perfect, got pushed to everything else, because I flushed one of my Airpods, my Jeep got broken into and the windshield was broke. The plug came out of my charging station and was stuck in the outlet. And then the gate breaks mid-festival. I was just like, what else? It's supposed to happen in threes, and we've cleared the quota. So it was just ridiculous.
And your team lost this week in fantasy football.
See, why you gotta rub salt in the wound?
When I'm vying to play in the toilet bowl in our league this year. Like I'm literally the last person on the last team on the. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, it's painful. It's getting painful. This is painful. All the good players are out. My quarterback broke his ankle on TV.
And this week I'm playing Andy, my brother-in-law. And the main reason that I want to play fantasy football is so I can destroy him on these weeks. So it's just like, gosh, what's it even worth?
Yeah, if you don't...
Why am I playing if I can't destroy him?
If you don't win against him, it's the doghouse for you.
Well, I still maybe get a chance to beat Dennis, and although I can't beat anybody. I can't.
Well, I had Dax? Whatever that guy's name is.
Yeah.
And man, he was killing it, and now he's out for the season. So,
well,
whatever. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Shin says, love the face on the crescent moon. Looking forward to seeing the colors on your painting.
Thank you. I am too, and I'm gonna have that for you guys on Thursday. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do the acrylic pour live on the stream or if I'm gonna do that before. Mostly because I've done resin pours and things like that, but the acrylic pours I'm not used to the medium, so I might practice a little bit and then do it on live stream on this, or I might do this to help practice with it and then do some other things on live stream. But
you know what I know you want to do the pour, but another effect that would look really cool is when you lay down the inks and you blow them around the thing.
Well, that
looks really cool.
That's a good idea, and that's one of the things that I kind of want to do here is because I want to use the acrylic pours, but I don't want the opaqueness that you have with your typical pour. Most of the time with acrylic pours, they'll use a base paint like white or black, and they'll cover the painting with that. It's very thick. It's very opaque. But what I want to do is semi-transparent to transparent paints.
What is the medium that doesn't make the paint crack but will be clear?
High flow.
Is that what you mix in the black?
Try it somewhere. yeah. It's that stuff that I use to make the black sticky.
Is that normal? Like, is that an acrylic pour technique, or are you making this up on the fly?
I'm making it up on the fly, but it probably is a technique. I'd be real surprised if somebody hasn't done that or tried to do acrylic like clear. But I'm so new to pouring, like that I'm not sure. Like, I know the techniques that I've used and I've come up with before and all that, and I'm always mixing stuff together, trying to come up with sticky paints and different things that are different. Surely someone's done that. I just don't know of it yet. And actually, Sam would probably be the person to ask.
Yeah, she would know. Well, my mom joins us and says, "Sorry, Jackie. Just think you got it all over in one full swoop. Love you."
Oh, that's sweet.
Thanks. I mean, it is what it is. It's funny because like these things happen, and you're like, it was chaos at the time, and I was really freaking out, and I felt really. It's more like I'm not worried about my equipment. I'm worried about messing other people's art fair up, and so. But then you think about it, it's like if that gate had gotten stuck or broken when we were working like a big city festival.
Yeah. Or
if I had just let them borrow the truck and wasn't there to like manage the situation, I would have felt terrible about that. So really, in the end, it worked out to just kind of fail where it failed. So look it on the bright side of things.
I felt bad. I felt kind of like Ricky Ricardo in the morning when you called.
You were like, "What, babe?"
It was early in the morning, and I hadn't slept much that night because Jack is almost a teenager, and
that's all you need to say.
Yeah, that's it. So there hadn't been much sleep that night, and I'd slept a few hours, and then Jackie called and said, "I'm having trouble with the truck. It's bad."
It was a bad.
You just sound like Lucy. It's bad,
Ricky. Yeah. Well, it was funny because it was like, I'm in a huge jam, and like how often?
Yeah, I'm in a huge jam.
How often do I call anybody or you and say we are in a huge jam?
The keeper's going wrong.
Yeah.
The keeper's going south.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
And you were like, I don't know, babe. I don't. And being sweet, trying to console me, and I'm like, I gotta get off the phone. I can't just sit here and.
No, you weren't crazy at all.
It was a mess.
So I started looking up the blueprints and the plans, like on the different Tommy Gates and different things, and figuring out
you found the same YouTube video because I think you said the same thing that Andy and I were watching, and then you did send me some 24-hour wrecker services that I think I tried to call, but the one I finally did get one. I don't remember where I was just calling in fact, I called one wrecker service multiple times, and they were like, the first time they were like, we're not working today or something, like our guys are all out. I forget what it was, And I didn't know who I called, so I called them again, and I was like, I got this situation, and they were like, you already called us. I was like, I'm sorry, I'm calling anybody.
Man, bless your heart. That's
cool. That's cool. I got some new AirPods today and a new charging station. So
that sounds cool.
It's all good.
Well, you didn't get AirPods this time, did you? You got
yeah, I got some of the cheaper versions, like what you got.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. Well, no, they're not like mine.
Well, they're
not,
if it's not AirPods, it's something else.
You know what's funny? Yeah, it's funny. Like for Mac people, there's like Mac, and then there's everything else.
Well, it's kind of true.
Well, but I've used tons of different earpods and things, and the ones I have now I really really like. I can't even think who makes them, but I really like them, and they're waterproof. They're all that, and the sound is really good. And then, but you have trouble with earbuds staying in your ears, so
yeah.
So you were trying to find some that you thought would.
Well, yeah, and I still I'm using my old AirPod. I have one AirPod that is not located in the toilet. I am still using that now because I thought I'd keep this one because I can use it for the computer to make sure the sound's working and then still hear you, because the new ones I got, and I don't know if this is this must be the difference between AirPods and EarPods, is that the EarPods have that silicone rubber that really seals them into your ear, but the AirPods don't, and they just kind of sit in your ear so you can hear other things a little bit better. Because I put the new ones in, and it was and then Jack was like, ah, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're saying. So while that's cool, there are some benefits to being able to hear outside of your AirPods.
Well, it depends. Like mine. We'll also let you hear around them too, though. Like the mics and all that in it, or something. They'll. Yeah. So when somebody talks to you, kind of like I have it in my ear right now, but I can hear you fine with it.
Yeah.
But but it's just different. I mean, like some of them are will block out all the sound, and that's what people want. Other ones will let the sound in, but I really like mine. I was so happy to actually find some that weren't like crazy expensive. And I've dropped them in bathtub. I've dropped them in the hot tub. And they keep working. They keep on ticking.
Well, Ron Captain has joined us and says, "Nice."
Well, thank you so much, Ron. Good to see you.
We were just talking about him the other night and how he's got a commission due.
Yeah,
so
you do.
Ron, you should really think about it.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious of thoughts.
Yeah, let us know, because
you're about to start on a big painting, another outdoor painting, but it won't be a mural, but it's going to be a panel that's going to be adhered to an outdoor building.
Yeah,
I'm kind of curious what you're going to come up with that.
Me too.
Kim asks, are you just using gray?
I am for this part. That's a good question, Kim. So what I'm going to do with this painting, right now I'm just building up kind of tones with using the gray. But so it's going to be a black and white and gray painting, and then I'm going to do an acrylic pour for the background, and then see how that goes. It would have been better to do the acrylic pour first, but I'm going to try this and see how it goes. But I didn't have the last thing I needed to do the pour was delayed in shipment. So, but I didn't want to hold up the painting, so I thought, well, I'll go ahead and work on the realistic bits and all that.
Realistic bits.
Yeah, like this. One of the things about acrylic pouring that I really like is that it's really abstract. It's really cool, and I like that I could pick different colors, like for music or whatever, and have it interact. And but I want to have control over it too. So I thought this would be a great experiment to be able to try that, because I have really thick paint around the lines that I use to draw with sometimes. So I have that. I have different kinds of paint on here as well to see what happens when it goes across it. That's white, so you can't see it, but I'm just curious what will happen when it hits it.
So do you honestly think that when you pour the acrylic, it's not going to just slightly go over those lines? Because
it sure could. That's happened before when I've used acrylics and resin.
Yeah.
Alcohol inks and resin. It does that.
Yeah.
That's one reason I'm waiting to put the color on, because it'll be really easy to repair a black and white painting, like a gray painting.
Yeah. So
if the color goes in and I decide that, okay, well, I don't want that color there, I can go back in and repair everything I've done here real easy.
Yeah, because the acrylic pour, I mean, from what I've watched, is thick. Like, it's just going to spread. And I know, you probably know this, or maybe Sam told you, but you can't pour it directly on canvas. You have to, like, paint down first.
Yeah, well, and there's different techniques and things. So, like, so you can use, so, like, you can put the paint down first, and that's what I was going to do. But you can also make it thicker or thinner and stuff. So
that's cool.
Yeah, so what I'm going to try to do is make it about the same thickness as resin, but I might make it a little bit thinner. That way it's a little easier. And then also with whenever you're pouring something, and I've only done resins and alcohol inks and stuff, but whenever you're doing pours and working with that, you can also control where it goes by moistening and like making a trail. And that'll cause it to kind of bead up along that. And as long as I don't make it wet on the other side of this line, I should be able to keep most of it on one side.
There's this cool, like, she had a painting at the fair that had, and she kind of described it. It was like really dark, but then it had iridescent, like, golds kind of popping out from under it. And she said what was cool about that process was that you just laid down this initial, like, gold sort of pour or drops or something, and then you poured the other paint over it. And over like, initially you just saw a few little pops of iridescent gold through the black. But then as like a full day passed, more and more popped through, and it almost had like that geode kind of
that's
look.
Cool.
And man, that would look really cool if you had some sort of black, like, it's really dark, but then you have this like black geode gold kind of popping through.
Yeah.
That'd be really
I was thinking
cool.
too, and with the silicone you can get different cells and stuff. And I was thinking about making a really dark background, but interesting and cool. And then, but I'm not sure what colors to use. I was gonna listen to some music and try to pick colors from the music.
Well, what color are you gonna do the moon and cat?
I'm not sure. It depends on what the color of the background's going to be, probably. But the cat will probably be blues and purples. But I don't know. I may have to change them, because I want it to be a black cat. But true to my nature, I'm not going to paint it black. You know, But you're thinking black paint, so I'm gonna. But maybe not. I mean, it could be a purple blue cat, but I'm thinking darker. But although the background is probably going to be really dark. But I don't know, it may not be that dark. I don't know. I haven't decided about the color yet. So far, I've just worked out the composition of, I know with the cat and the moon, and and I know I want this like grayscale sort of thing. But the finished painting is going to be so bright and so shiny, just crazy color, and so I'm really looking forward to that. But I want to be able to control the color. But I think I can do that with the techniques I've learned through resin and stuff. So
yeah,
instead of just doing a crazy pour, where it's all like, we'll see how it turns out. I know, and that's really neat that people can do that. Like, I know some people do the acrylic pouring and they'll make flowers and stuff. But it's just sort of like they'll stamp it, then they'll lift it, and they'll look and see if it's.
Yeah.
I can't look at it, so I want to be able to control it a bit more to get
that makes
those
sense.
effects.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, Elizabeth joins us and says, "Jackie, I love your look tonight." Thank you.
Nice.
Everything I've done, every little mini costume has been relatively easy.
Oh, and I should say I was going to dress up tonight, but I
You're
was
a
looking.
hipster. What are you talking about?
I know. Yeah.
Every day.
So I should repeat this little story really quickly. But I was going to dress up. I wanted to be Bob Ross, but I didn't have the right hairdo. So I was going to be a Frenchman. Look at that. I've got like a little mustache, a little beard here. I was going to wear.
You should be wearing it.
And I've got a beret that my dad wore in Vietnam. It's like a black beret. It's the only beret I have. And so I was going to wear that backwards, so it wasn't like the army insignia stuff on it and all that. But looking for a turtleneck, because I wanted to be like little artsy French guy, and I couldn't find my mock turtleneck because all those have been thrown away to make room
Am I not going to hear the end of this?
To make room for the Chewbacca and Frankenstein onesies and the Star Trek uniforms and stuff that you have in there.
Priorities.
But I did find a leather vest, and I found a ukulele. So I found these things. So I was sitting in here, and Jackie said, "Oh," because I told her I was going to put on a costume. Said, "Oh, did you dress up like a hipster?" That's just me.
Nah, just me. I mean, you do play the ukulele a little bit, but it was the vest that threw me.
Yeah, I used to play ukulele almost every day until.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of ukulele, the auction. So you did that concert with Mandy Harvey last week, and tomorrow is the last.
She did all the playing, I should say.
Yeah.
I did all the painting. She did all the playing on the ukulele. Thank goodness.
She did the concert, and you did a painting for it, and it's a big fundraiser for No Barriers. And that bad boy, the auction is over with tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share a link for anybody that wants to check out the auction items, or share it with your friends if you know that anybody that's into Mandy Harvey. She is phenomenal.
Yeah. For sure. That's a good idea.
So, you're not a hipster?
well, here, who knows at this point. Here, let me show you the painting right now. Here, and let me tell you a little story.
Oh, goodness. Oh, gosh. Are you going to sing this story?
Here's a little story.
I can see our numbers dropping.
Of a moon and a cat. No, I was kidding. That's all.
Well, Kim says, is the thick paint puff paint? My daughter and I added elements cut out of vinyl using our Cricut machine to a pouring paintings after they dry.
How cool! Yes, it sure is. So I did use puff paint for this, and one of the nice things about puff paint is that it doesn't interact with other chemicals that I found, like even alcohol. You know, if you're using the rubbing alcohol to do different alcohol inks and working with different paints, it'll eat away at it eventually if it's really thick and it's just on there forever. But most of the time, it pretty much doesn't react with different things. So it makes great use as a barrier. And even with the resin, you want to make sure it's completely dry because you don't want any moisture underneath the resin, or it could help it to induce fogging. But yeah, no, that stuff just works really great. And
that's an interesting idea with like doing the Cricut cutouts with the pouring paintings. That's because I was like, if it's hard to control you've got the drawing down and then you pour it, and if it's hard to control at that point, you could always, and this I think would look cool because I'm a big resin fan, you could always do the pour first and then resin it, so you have this maybe layer that's almost like, not a half-inch thick, but it's shellacked, so it leaves a little bit of a layer, and then you do a drawing or painting over it, and it has this bit of depth.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
That would be really cool.
It's funny. I was thinking about that. I was thinking about the resin pours and the acrylic pours and all this different thing, and I looked up how thick of a sheets of plexiglass you could get, because I thought you could do a pour on one side, and then flip it, and then it's really glossy and thick.
Yeah.
Then you could do a translucent pour on that. And keep stacking it, and then you end up with this giant block of weirdness that weighs 1 million pounds.
we have like a ton of acetate.
Oh yeah,
That'd be interesting to play with.
Yeah, that would be cool. I wonder if it'd be hard to get the bubbles out.
I don't know. Well, Elizabeth says, great painting, John. Enjoying listening to how you think about the mediums.
Well, thank you very much.
And my mom says, I have a tall blue wig if you need it.
Nice.
Yes, my mom went as Marge Simpson to Comic-Con in 2012, and she got all the attention. I'm not bitter. All right. Kim says, I have a ton of puff paint. I'm excited to try this with pouring. Man, you could really create some really interesting dams to control where the water goes.
Yeah, I'm wondering how hard that's going to be. And a big thing with it's interesting, like when I did resins, like I was using blow torches and all these different things, and heat guns, and I would let it dry, and then I would heat it up to be able to move it more. And so I'm really curious to play with the acrylics, because I use acrylic resin, and and you can get these really cool effects. So I'm wondering about combining the two, or seeing, or
do it all.
Yeah, to do it all.
Do it all.
Could be pretty cool. But so what do you think would be the best thing for this? So so you can see the black and white, and then the grayscale in this.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what colors would be good for this painting.
Well, I kind of want the background to be dark. With pops of bursts of colors, like the cells that the pouring can create. That'd be cool. But that means that the moon and the cat can't be.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking that too, like a lot of purples and deep blues back in the background, and then maybe making the blue more of an orangey yellow, and then the cat's more of a light blues and dark blues and stuff, maybe,
or light greens or something.
Yeah,
I don't know. One thing I'll say, and this is probably late in the game, is I could see the moon being like these pops of yellow and weird colors, but then the shine on the cat would be right where you added the gray.
Oh, right here? Oh, right here.
Yeah, well, yeah, it'd be, right where the cat, like, you added the darkness with the gray.
Oh, yeah.
Is where the light from the moon would hit it. But, I mean, not that it matters.
That's true.
I don't know. I mean,
you got to remember, too, that the moon doesn't cast light.
Oh, that's, well...
It does. I mean, it reflects light. Yeah, it reflects it. But
it's bouncing it on
but the sun could be shining over onto both of them.
True.
I don't know.
Whatever makes it work in your head, babe.
Yeah, so, listen, it's science. You're not meant to understand
it. Kim says, do you have any of your alcohol ink pieces on your website? I've worked with it to some success.
I do. There's
A Flight of Color.
Ooh, look at you.
That's a good one. That is the butterfly that has all the alcohol inks behind it. Gosh, that's the most prominent one because that's a popular one.
And I have a big thing where I'm not like a multimedia type artist. I don't think, because even with acrylic, I use resin. I use acrylic resin, and then I'll use acrylic paints with it.
Yeah.
So I guess that's mixed media, but it's all acrylic, and I think, well, it's all acrylic. I mean, so I don't know. Like, it's not but I'll color the resin with using acrylic paints and acrylic pigment. Pigments. So,
Kim just said a reflective cat, LOL, which made me think you should use some UV in this.
Yeah, and by the way, cats in space, it's probably magic. It's probably a magic cat. It can be good. He can have
dogs
a glowing
in space.
backside.
There's dogs in space. Why can't there be cats?
It's exactly. Maybe that's why the cat's up here.
Oh.
Got chased up there by a pooch.
Anyway.
On that note.
that reminded me of that squirrel. We were sitting in the backyard a couple days ago, and I had never seen this before, but there was a squirrel that was teasing our beagle. Our beagle is like the one that's not, she's not trained, and she's kind of nutty. And
well, she's not guide dog trained.
She's not guide dog. Whatever, man. She's nuts to an extent.
Well,
I think she's crazy.
She is a little nuts, but.
And there was a ssquirrel that was like going. It would go down the tree and wait for her to like come after it, and then it would go up, shake its tail, and then it'd go down the tree and wait. And it was like, because it didn't seem logical for the squirrel to do that. So then it just became like, oh, it's teasing the dog, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's what made me think of that for some reason. Yeah, dogs in space.
I was telling Jackie, I used to live out in the country, and then I lived in by a lake, and the squirrels, especially out by the lake where I lived, were crazy with the dogs. Like, I helped dogs at a shelter, and then I had room, so I had some dog runs built, like for if the no-kill shelter had a run over, then I would keep the dogs for a while, and the squirrels would go over there, and they would just shake their little butts at the dogs and just run along the fence line, and just like and put their tail down. The dog would jump.
Are you serious?
Whip it up. Put it
That's
down,
funny.
Whip it up, and just the dog. Oh.
And
they would always find the dog, of course, that was obsessed with them,
Yeah.
and just pester the heck out of that one dog.
I wonder why they do that.
I don't know. I guess maybe boredom, but or something. I don't know.
Because I've caught a squirrel or two burying nuts in the dirt in the backyard when Chip's not around, and so I wondered if maybe it was wanting to get to its nuts, and Chip was blocking the path. But that's crazy. Like, why? Like, I didn't know the animal kingdom had such
shenanigans.
Yeah, shenanigans. Well, my mom says yes, UV. do it.
Oh yeah, UV. Yeah. Sorry. I missed that, sweetheart.
Kim says, so the alcohol ink is on canvas? LOL, cats in space. Y'all are great. Cats in space. So yeah, you would do alcohol inks on canvas.
Heck yeah, I would.
I'm trying to think of like other the latest painting that you did where you did the ink on canvas was Rockin', where it was the woman's hair, and it was all like waving, and then the guitar was right there.
Yeah.
The under part of that, like when you first laid it down, you put inks down and we're just blowing it around the canvas.
Yeah, it's one of the things I'm really excited about the acrylic pouring, because I love the effects you can get with resin,
Mm-hmm.
and I think you can mirror that with acrylic pouring and then using those together, but also painting on a large scale, because I know most acrylic pours are done really small. Even when you look up like about people working large, they're it might be like 30 by 40 inches or something, which is big, but some of my artwork is huge, so I want to be able to do things on a little bit bigger scale, but still incorporate the realism, and doing some ideas with acrylic pour where maybe it's abstract, it's like music, because I love to paint music. I think it'd be so cool to have like some of the music going through the air, very abstract, but then it starts to coalesce and start to form different things like butterflies or birds or people, squirrels, taunting dogs. It's all fair game.
Ron Captain said squirrels are jerks.
Yes. They're secret agents for the electric company, aren't they?
Yeah, I think so.
There was some comedian that said that because they're always on the power lines and they're always checking everybody out.
Well, I'm kind of upset because like I was getting really used to sitting at the kitchen table doing work, homeschool with Jack and stuff, and we had every single day like clockwork. We had 1 to 2 squirrels. They were the same ones that would come by and eat seeds. Like they'd come by, they'd literally tap on the window, and then I'd make them get down, like I'd scare them down, and then I would open the window, put the seeds out, and put the window down, and they'd hop back up and eat it because I'm freaked out. I don't want them anywhere. I don't want them to run in the house, and all of a sudden we've got like, some sort of like cat in the hat situation with Chip, and it's nuts. So
I forgot about Dr. Lisa Fowler. They would talk to you through the window there.
So I'm kind of upset now because I guess in winter they're doing other things. They don't care to come visit, knock on the window.
That might be the squirrel that's pestering Chip.
I don't think so because that was a big fat squirrel.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like
and then
Dr. Lisa Fowler's behavior.
Jerry.
Yeah, it's very Jerry.
There's seeds still on the ledge from like 3 days ago when I saw one out there and I was like, hey. But I don't know. I want to figure a way to train them. I think I can do this when like the spring is coming up. I'm going to train them to ring a bell outside the window.
Ooh.
I'm going to do it. I've seen it done.
You've seen that done?
I've seen it done.
Wow.
I've seen it done. It was like some sort of YouTube video or something, and this family had a squirrel that would come by and ring the bell, and then they fed it by hand. Like they weren't scared like me, and they would just feed the squirrel their peanuts by hand.
Now my mom, the lady that you can thank for that wonderful ukulele music that I played earlier, because she gave me that green ukulele. Whenever I lived at the lake, with the squirrels that would taunt the dogs, you could feed the squirrels peanuts and stuff. I'd give them peanuts. You could feed them by hand. But my mom came down, and there was this one squirrel, and she was so scared of the squirrel, but she wanted to feed it a peanut. She just really wanted to feed it a peanut. And it came down like this big oak tree, and it was there. And just, because it's there all happy he's going to get a peanut. And Mom's like, ah. Like, we get kind of close to it and get within like a foot, and the squirrel's starting to reach out, like holding its back legs on the tree and then trying to reach out for it. Yeah. Mom would go, ee! And then she'd back up. And then she'd go back again, and the squirrel would reach out, and the squirrel was just getting more and more
aggravated.
And then finally mom got there, and the squirrel really reached out and grabbed her hands. And then Mom's just yelling, yeah! And then the squirrel grabbed the nut, went up the tree. Oh. Good times.
Man, that's hilarious.
You gotta love nature.
See, you had a great idea, though.
I did.
Yeah.
Let me say, we are recording this, aren't we?
You said that I should go to the candy shop in town and get the little hands and put them on the end of the grabbers, like you from your back surgery, the gripper, the floor, and then I could feed it out the window, and it'd be like little hands.
And we could film it. It would look like we had giant squirrels.
We had giant squirrels.
Look at those hands are only about that big. So yeah, these little hands.
Itty bitty hands.
Suddenly a giant squirrel head looms into view.
That would be hilarious. Well, Kim says, I've only done the ink on glass, ceramic, and oddly enough, gourds.
Wow. That sounds like that would be a challenge, though.
Yeah, I'm curious how... I would think ink on all those things take extra time to dry, and like maneuver control sounds like an issue.
Yeah, that's crazy on a gourd too.
Yeah,
the
interesting.
I don't know, the spherical nature of that. It sounds like it would be.
Spherical nature. Crazy.
Yeah. Oh well, it's almost time for us to run, guys. But I want to mention again. Tomorrow we're doing Boise Startup Week, so that's going to be fun. I can't wait to do that.
Oh, I have the link for that. Let me share it.
Oh, thank you. And so that's going to be a whole lot of fun, and a whole lot of interesting speakers and stuff, of which I'm so honored to be a part of it. And I'll be going on right after the mayor, and then and I'll be doing live chats and stuff.
Yeah, lots of networking possibilities. Obviously, it's Boise, but I mean, if you're not in the area, but you can check it out, and maybe there's some nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, and less important. I made chili tonight. Ooh. It's on the smoker right now because I'm smoking the chili after it was made. Oh, I learned something.
Yeah. Don't
put chili in an instant pot. Like I guess there was so much seasoning and stuff that it stopped the pot. Like the pot was like no, and started to burn the bottom.
Oh.
Fortunately, our pot knows that when it's acting weird and it'll stop it. So I took it out and I put it on the grill. So now it's slow cooking on the grill.
That's funny because when I walked through the kitchen at one point, I looked at the slow cooker. I know nothing about cooking. Let's just get this straight. I walked through the kitchen and I saw the slow cooker, and on the front, on the lights, it was like burn.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, John knows what he's doing. And I kept walking.
Well, if you ever see that again...
I should probably tell you?
Yeah, or unplug it or something.
Unplug it?
It's dinner, man.
Well, I know, but like, I'll go get you. Okay, so
that'll work too.
So Thursday will be the last time I'm dressing up because it's right.
And I'll be dressing up for sure on Thursday.
Ooh, you are? I'm excited.
Yeah. Oh.
And then maybe we'll have some wacky video or two to show of us doing silly stuff.
Well, yeah. So Jackie may be doing some VR paranormal, and so if anybody will see Jackie pee her pants, Thursday might be the evening that you get your wish.
Tune in.
Yeah, ghosts and stuff scare the poo out of her. So yeah.
Well, I mean, like, anyway.
And jump scares, so you can combine the two.
I mean, whatever. Jump scares, not so much. It's the creepy. You can't see the object. Kim says control is an issue, but you can control it. With some randomness. Randomness can give you cool effects, though. Gourds, you just drip it. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That's cool.
Well, that's awesome. Well, hey, right before we say goodnight, guys, let me show the painting again. So this is what it looks like right now. And actually, let me take a screenshot really quick because we don't have it. So this is what it looks like right now, and then so it will look very different Thursday.
Will it?
Probably, unless I do the pour live on Thursday. But I think I'm probably going to play around with it before then.
Cool. And
then start another one because it's a learning process. But I want to start learning on here with you guys.
Nice.
But thank you guys for joining us, and I hope y'all have a really good week.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I guess we'll see everybody Thursday.
I hope so. We'll see y'all then.
Thanks.
Bye.